This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. Happy hump day. Welcome to the Morning Hookup. Bill Hooks, Elijah Herbal, YZ back on the ones and twos. Hope your start to your Wednesday is incredible right in the middle of the week. A little ominous morning outside. Looks like we're headed for some decent weather. Hot yesterday. Hope you survived and stay hydrated and all the good stuff yesterday because it was hot. ACs and all the units overtime. Working overtime yesterday.
So good we had Dane Todd on Monday to take us through hydration for this weather.
You knew. Don't act like you don't know. Okay? Don't act like you don't know. Doc told you about preparing yourself for days like yesterday. But if you were paying attention with the doc, you would have had to start it on Monday probably as hot as it was. Just drink water. Stay hydrated. But welcome in. Speaking of that, we're going to have we're going to talk some Husker fall camp. Your DC spoke yesterday. A lot of ears on when your DC speaks right now with the flip of formation, back to traditional defense, and all the pieces that are playing within that defense coming up. So we'll talk about that. We got some audio. We got a lot of audio that we can get through with your DC. Well, NFL stories. We'll look at some other stories out there. Henry T. Buchanan in hour number 2. And then special edition of the Almanac, Jeff Moat today. He'll wrap up the show for us today as he'll be on a little sabbatical for a few days. There you go. So a lot of that coming up. Also, we'll have a chance to probably tomorrow we'll get to some golf. There's some sweet pairings coming up.
Cornerator in our stream chat was asking about that yesterday, Hooksy.
There were some sweet pairings to look at it because now they're at the 70s, so they go in twos now. Mm-hmm. And there is a great pairing. No, not one great pairing, but there's a power pairing out there that's pretty incredible. How about we just put Scotty and Roy together in the pairing to start the not start it off, but they'll be in for at least 2 rounds together. Poof, some good ones. The race to 50 now. The race to 50 this tournament. Something happened yesterday too, by the way, because you know how you go out and I don't know what I'm going to do yet on this. You know, every year, millions and the millions and millions of people go to themasters.com and put in for tickets. And the millions and millions get what? Rejected. So this year, I'm like, hey, I did it again. But I also put in for Open Championship tickets.
Did you now? St. Andrews.
Uh-huh. I have a decision to make in the next 3 days. I was drawn.
Wow.
I was drawn. I can get 4 tickets. Do you know what? 2 different days.
2 different days. Okay, I was going to ask what days.
I have. Let me go. I think it's Tuesday and Saturday. Like moving day.
Be a long week, though.
I haven't decided yet.
Is there much to do in St. Andrews? Like the city itself?
Oh, that's big news. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. How I'm going to what? This is in July. I don't know yet. What is do you have the dates? I haven't even.
Yeah, like you don't have the dates.
Like if my wife is listening right now, she's just now learning of this.
July 11th through the 18th, 2027. So
she's just now learning of this if she's listening.
So your Saturday would be July 17th. Practice days are the 11th through the 14th.
I think I have. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday and Saturday that I was drawn for. 4 tickets to each one. Now that leads to another issue. If I was going to take the family, there's 5 of us. Well, sorry, so if you moved out,
she's not part of the family no more.
Out.
She's out.
It was weird. Speaking of that, but so I don't know. I gotta get through this. I gotta figure this out. It was weird this morning.
Quick math here.
There's
1, 2, 3, 4.
Is Schmitty listening? Schmitty, what do you think?
No, he's doing his own thing over there.
I'm like, are you in for St. Andrews? He's not.
Guess that's a no.
He's not in. What are you willing to do for Tuesday and Saturday tickets?
Well,
he's talking. He's recording.
The next person would ask would be T.
He's T. Ooh, a home of golf. He could learn.
We'll see if his handicap sub 30 by then.
Home of golf. Boy. This is so we got that going on. Boy, big news coming out right quick. Just to throw it out there. Sources at ESPN right now, and that's an NBA story. We can get to it later on, but the sources are saying right now the Los Angeles Lakers are being sold.
Whoa.
to American businessmen Josh Kushner and Bob Iger. Is that how you say their names? For over $12 billion. ESPN is now breaking that story. That's a big story, right? Buss family selling the Lakers.
To the younger brother of Jared Kushner. Huh.
That just broke a few moments ago in Lakerland.
I don't know much about this.
I don't know why it seemed like it seems like a massive story. Maybe it's you think of the history of the Lakers, the Buss family, all the parts that have been involved of that historical franchise over the years, how long it's been in the Buss family. So there you go. Sources are saying the Lakers are being sold this morning for and again, that number, again, you went on to say it's a record price. $12 billion.
That's funny, the name Bob Iger, CEO of Walt Disney.
Yes. I'm glad you said, because I'm like, why do I know that?
Yeah.
Why does that sound familiar? I don't know that, but why does it sound familiar?
And weren't him and Kushner both involved in everything going on in Las Vegas?
Yes. They are.
Oh boy.
So I assume that means Kushner now has to sell. He was a minority owner in the Heat. He'd have to sell that, correct?
Probably so.
I don't know the stipulations on that.
Might be some conflict of interest in there.
The Lakers and the Heat just start conducting.
They just start swapping. One of those things where the Heat are on the West Coast and the Lakers are out there too, and they need a player. Hey, can you just send him over for the night? He's on the bench. We'll get him some minutes because we're in load management night. So there you go. Breaking this morning. Lakers being sold for $12 billion. My goodness. There'll be a lot more to come for that as well. But boy, Husker fall camp is off and running. And our DC spoke yesterday. I think this is one from a fan perspective. When you look at, I don't want to say history of defense, but the back and forth we've done. And the flipping and flopping, I'd call it, of your setup, of your scheme. Traditional 4-man. Now then you went to the 3-man, and then again, not that you want to draw any conclusions, but then you hear stories about where our offense was going against a 3-man for a few years, and then they'd go to a game and there's a 4-man. Now you get to go against a traditional 4-man. But I think all eyes, all ears, when your DC speaks, starts talking about the parts and the pieces, because that's probably got the most question marks when you look at it. And I think you're going to have question marks no matter what when you flip schemes. Because of how do the parts within that play within that are the questions that you have. And I think also for Nebraska, coming off losing a couple studs up front, you're going, how do we get to that point? How do we get back to that level? And then, gosh darn it, it's like on the offensive side, you question yourself, how do we run the football? On the defensive side, we're going to go, how do we get to the football? Questions. There's a lot of questions on the defensive side.
Well, it's the simplest question I have, and it's something we talked about yesterday, is can the scheme that Rob Orich cooks up, and he talked yesterday about the fact that you got to come in and scout the league and figure out, hey, what were we doing at the last place that was working, that isn't going to work here? How can we amend that? How can we fit our defensive scheme to the pieces that we have? He kind of talked about the process they've been going through this offseason as they try to build their scheme for this season specifically. Mm-hmm. But the question to me is, can you build a defensive scheme that hides the weaknesses of the guys you have on defense and brings to the forefront their strengths? And that's the evaluation process that Orich has been going through the spring and summer months as he builds this defense out. You have to evaluate and identify what the weaknesses are within your defense. And hey, I don't care if you're Alabama under Nick Saban or if you're name a terrible team. I mean, every single defense, every single offense out there has some sort of weakness. Now, some of them are smaller than others, but every single one's got at least a weakness. Mm-hmm. And the whole job of the offensive coordinator is to build a successful unit that hides your weaknesses, hides your deficiencies, and brings to the forefront your strengths. That's what I think is the quest here. And Tony White did a great job of this a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. Whenever he stepped in at Nebraska, that defense that he took over was good, not great.
Average.
Well,
yeah. I'd give him a little B-.
Sure.
Type talent.
Sure. I mean, you still lost a lot of games that year for a reason. And it was the same defense with personnel-wise that allowed Georgia Southern to hang 45 on him. Mm-hmm. Now, I know they got better as the year went on, but Georgia Southern still hung 45 on that defense. You took a lot of the same pieces and turned them into a defense in Matt Rule's first year that was what allowed you to hang around in most of the games in Big Ten play. It was also helped slightly by the fact that other teams went pretty conservative against you, but you knew that going in, and you made a defense that brought the strengths, which I think was guys like Nash and Ty to the forefront, some of the experience he had in the secondary, and it hid some of the deficiencies. Now that's the same job for Orich here. I don't think the pieces on this defense played up to the level that they expected of themselves last year. And I think part of that was due to scheme. Can you build a scheme this year that brings their strengths to the forefront? That's the question to me for Orich. Allows him to go play in it. He talked about fast, physical, violent. Those are things he wants.
And you've heard from him, and you've heard from players right now already. It would be Cam Linhart, right? He's mentioned the fact that this four-man front's going to behoove him a little bit more. I take away from this as well as he spoke yesterday, and I think we got the clip on this. I think it's number 6 when he talks about the position. Now, being the DC, he's the DC, but the position that he always coaches and who he's working with, and it's those linebackers. I think this is intriguing because I think you get some DCs over time, opinions right now, right? Opinions over time who forget what they were raised on. And I think, and again, we talk a lot about the trenches at Nebraska and everywhere else, but deficiencies over time have been in the middle of that defense at linebacker. Play that one. I think it's interesting how he's working with the linebackers.
Well, Rob's a terrific human. You guys have all talked to him before, man. He's really likable. He's approachable. He's humble. He's a prepared worker. Anytime I've ever asked him to do anything, it's been above the line for my expectations. And so having the chance to work with him through the spring, he's one of the better coaches I've been around. And so having the opportunity to keep him and his family here in Lincoln, we say that that was a blessed situation for him, but really it was a blessing situation for us.
And he moves on to say, I love the linebackers, but this is a position that Orich is saying, I will be directly involved with this unit. I find that intriguing. I find that your DC is now involved. Now, again, I know probably other ones, Tony White was as well, but like he's directly saying, this is the unit I've always coached and what I'm going to be involved with. I think that's been one. Again, we go back, talk about the trim. That middle part of the defense at sometimes has been lacking in that room. And I think Rob has been questioned at times about how good our linebackers are, but how well they're being developed. That unit could be very special.
I thought the linebackers through the first 2 years, whenever Tony White was the defensive coordinator, were solid, good pieces. And I think last year, it was a combination of you lost some experience out of that room, combine that with the fact that you had defensive linemen that were unable to keep offensive linemen off of the linebackers. Those linebackers were getting smoked by offensive linemen. Makes their job very, very difficult.
Which made it more glaring that your trenches were not as good either.
Yeah, I mean, because there was a give and a take where the line wasn't keeping offensive linemen off of linebackers. I don't think the linebackers ever adjusted to that fact. They were still stationary targets for those offensive linemen. And what does it lead to? It leads to Justice Hayes hitting his head on the goalpost against Nebraska. It was King Miller from USC. All the gash runs that he pulled off. Go back and watch those games and look at how many free runs offensive linemen took at linebackers, where they didn't even bother to double team anyone on the offensive line, or a defensive line, I should say. But you bring in experience now in this linebacker room where if those guys are able to play a little bit more cleanly, where it's not offensive linemen in their grill every single running play. I mean, I love the potential of Chambliss. We've talked about this guy a lot as well in the show. Dexter Foster, the athleticism that he brings.
I mean, you got guys that you got to get excited, that you can be excited. But you mentioned Chambliss, Foster. Those Shavers.
Yeah. And Shavers is a guy that we kind of saw regression from last year. I think part of that was due to the fact that the sight picture he got on a given play changed because he had so many offensive linemen in his grill. And there's a lot of linebackers last year. And
you want to point out Chambliss, and at every position, I think this can be true. It's the experience that you're grabbing, right? You're bringing in transfers who have solid stats and solid college snaps, right? We're not chasing. And again, you get a veteran like a Chambliss coming in, teaching kids, the leadership part of this, right? And again, I'll go back. Like, I think Frost said this before, and it's one of those quotes that told me it's about getting old quick. It's what Nebraska hasn't done. But they're getting old quick now in this market. And I think Chambliss is going to be a key to that group. It'll be pretty awesome. He's got to be the one on the defensive side, one of your top 2 or 3 guys you're looking at to make the impact.
He's got to be your
maybe number 1.
He's got to be your field general,
right?
Like, got to be the guy running the show.
Like he's your center fielder, he's your shortstop guy. Probably a guy that's got to lead your huddle. You know, he's got to be getting on the kids or other teammates when they're out of position,
making sure the front 7 is lined up properly based on
moving
formation.
around.
Yeah.
Like he's your guy. Like once you find out what his number, well, you could probably look it up now. Whatever number he is, from a fan's perspective, I encourage you to watch what he's doing, how he's leading that charge.
Well, the other name that we got to hear from this guy after practice yesterday, Dwayne McDougal on the back end, I think needs to be a similar effect. I mean, those are the 2 guys that can help the implementation of a Rob Orich scheme because they've played in the system before.
Should we listen to Mr. McDougal? He's number 17.
Yeah, instinctive player. Instinctive player, has a good feel for the defense. He always seems to – he dropped an interception today, so I'm kind of mad at him. But he had an opportunity to change the game today, and he dropped it. But he seems to make those plays on Saturdays. And talking about Dwayne, he's a competitive kid. He's a competitive kid. He's not 6'2". You know, he's probably not a 4'3" kid, but he seems to always put himself in position to help the ball club.
Is that going to be that? That's the word I heard Ulrich use this word a lot yesterday, and it's I don't know if it's not, it's multiple words that lead to being aggressive, opportunistic on defense, attacking were the words. Fly into the football. What's been missing from the Nebraska defense, like for a period of time. I think as a fan or as looking at watching the defense, we talk to our baseball kids about this all the time, and it's about playing fast, playing no fear, which sometimes leads to mistakes, but they're coachable mistakes versus timid, sit back, not attacking a ground ball, right? Which I think you described the linebackers like that. The linebackers would be, in your words you said, be the slow roller that we set back and the baseball played us and we didn't play the baseball.
That feeling of playing timid, I feel like leads to more mistakes because you're trying so hard not to make the mistake that you end up doing it. Like, have you ever heard of the metaphor of don't think of a purple elephant? Well, all you can think about is a purple elephant. Like that's kind of the thinking of how it goes.
Man, it's in my head now. Thanks. Whee. It's going to be an intriguing time. Yeah.
And there was something I heard there when he talked about McDougal, where he talked about how instinctive he was. Like, hey, not the best athlete, not the guy not a member of the all off the bus team, but instinctive. You know what I hear whenever I hear instinctive? Typically
football IQ,
film room junkie type.
I went to, like, when you heard the word instinctive and you thought about defense, what was the first name that came to your mind?
Levante David.
Done. It was easy.
Yeah.
Like instinctive, done. I went Levante David. That was it. Football guy.
When it's
went for the football, went and got the football.
And when you see an instinctive football player, first place your mind should go, that guy is spending hours upon hours upon hours in the film room. That's how those guys get those instincts.
Well, you know their keys, right? You know their keys. You know if the whatever scheme that the offense is in, you're like, oh, I've already seen this. I'm going to make 2 slight adjustments to the left, and I'm going to move my line this way.
Mm-hmm. And hey, from this formation, I'm going to be keying on outside breaking routes because I've seen it in the film room. Mm-hmm. And hey, there are times whenever you get caught and you get burnt because the offense throws a change up your way.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that can be told from an offense via personnel and via scheme or formation, I should say, that will key you into what scheme they'd like to run from that formation. So whenever you see an instinctive football player, when you hear a coach talking about an instinctive football player, I think sometimes the first place a fan's mind goes, man, that guy he's born with it.
Yep.
Nah, these guys, those are the type of guys that you want leading your defense because they've spent so much time in the film room. They know what the offense is trying to do, how they're trying to stress the defense. It's instincts they're learned. It's the best way to put it.
Let's do this. Let's take our first break. Okay, we'll go pay some bills real quick. But let's come back. Let's talk more Husker defense.
Yeah.
There's a lot more audio from your DC and some players. So let's take our first break. We'll come back with more Husker fall camp talk. Tomorrow we can save a bunch of that.
And we spent a good 20 minutes on NFL yesterday, Caleb.
We'll punt. We will punt to tomorrow. Come back with more Husker talk. Boy,
we took a quick look at all the divisions yesterday. So
yeah, I heard you guys a little bit. Sounded great.
We know.
I'll call you right after the my appointment yesterday, my doctor appointment. I was often, as yesterday, my day, boy, doctor in the morning, and then it was like I was with my boys. I always take this bullet. I take it every year. Take it around the chin every year. I'm the school supply guy. Been doing it since Sophia was in school. I just am like, all right, let's go. Oh, it's always treacherous. I'm always thinking every year is going to be better. And you take two, but like you get to the point now where it's like I have to take both my boys. I used to take them individually. So 3 different trips to get school supplies. And it's like, man, that's stupid. But this is where we're at now. School supply shopping, 2 carts. You get your stuff away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just get it. Here's a pen for both of you. Here's your sheet. Mark it off. But it never fails. They bump into each other. They're racing around with the carts. And then I get to the checkout. There's like snacks and candy in there. That what? Why did you get deodorant? And when did you get it?
It's for the locker room gym class.
I mean, it's fine. You might need deodorant, but man, I didn't know when you went over to get it. And next thing you know, you're like multiple hundreds of dollars in. You're like, what the freak, man?
Oh, so my dad would not stand. He went and got the number 2 pencils in bulk. So we'd have the big old thing in number 2, the mechanical pencils, obviously, but we had a big package of those at home at all times.
Oh yeah.
Ran out of lead. I grab a pencil.
Now it's
Get like
cool.
the 1 pin for the year.
Now it's cool to have like mechanical stuff. Please.
I started. I had the Ticonderoga pencils, best pencils I ever made, and then we flipped to mechanical as time went by.
Yeah.
My dad was not big on getting like the replacement lead. He's like, I'm just getting another thing of the cheap mechanical pencils.
They're just cool now. Mechanical pencils. It is interesting because our kids, again, they go to private school. And so it's different, I guess. I don't know what LPS like this. So my kids' school send out list. This is the junior high 6th through 8th grade list of stuff. And it's like this. And then the high school sends out, it's a little bit smaller. So we got to go out and rock it. And then they put on there like, grab 2 of these so you can donate 1 of them. Okay.
Come back here.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Thanks for hanging out. It's happy hump day. Hey, I want to thank you guys yesterday for filling in. I know I was gone yesterday, and again, not a PSA, but maybe more for like, hey, it's okay to not be okay sometimes. I was at the doctor yesterday. I was doing my annual blood draw follow-up, which I encourage you, everybody. I don't know what age you start at, but get to the doctor. Go get your blood draw. Even if you're worried about something, go get the answers. Okay? I got the answers yesterday. Healthy guy. But over time, to be transparent, I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety with stuff. Okay? Not sheltered myself from it, right? I'm honest about it, right? Now, I was anxious about being anxious yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? Now, again, anxious about being anxious. But going to the doctor, again, I think it's more of a male thing. And that's just my opinion about going to the doctor, whether it be going to get a colonoscopy when you need to go get one or just an annual blood draw to get yourself like, if you're not feeling great, go get some or go talk to somebody. You know, mine was, you guys know me. You've been watching me for, I don't know, months now, like thinking I'm sick or not feeling great or whatever, anxiety. So I was anxious about being anxious going into the appointment because usually when I go there, my blood pressure's through the roof. It was fine yesterday. Some reason, some calming factor. But for the first time this morning, And again, I think it's anxious about getting old. I took my first actual long-term medicine this morning. I was anxious about taking the first pill because I'm like, there's no turning back. So it's okay not to be okay. And if you got anxiety, go get it. Just go do it. Okay. But thank you guys for that avenue yesterday to go. Cause my doctor is like a super great doctor who is a Husker through and through, who it's his own practice. We've been going for a long time. Her family, my wife's family's been going for years to this guy, but he works like 12 hours a week these days.
Good for him.
And it's like 8 to 11. So that doesn't work for me to see my doctor. So, but you guys getting there, like I was there at 8:30 yesterday. That's the only time I could get in. So thank you guys. But if you ever need anything, it's okay not to be okay to talk. Okay. So I did. I embarked on which made me nervous this morning. I went and picked up my meds this morning. And it's a very low dose type of anxiety meds. I think from what I understand now, there's a lot of people on this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I think you feel like in my brain, I felt like I was isolated doing this. Like, wait a minute. Right. I got my meds this morning. I didn't even go get them last night. They texted me last night. They're done. I'm like, nope, not ready. It was probably because I was in my chair watching shows with my wife. By the way, we found a really cool one. You guys, Ransom Country, I think, on Netflix.
Heard of it.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
It's got what's her name? What I just give you? It's got it's Josh something from Las Vegas show. What's his name? I don't even know, but forget him. It is what's the hottie's name on Friday Night Lights? Minka something. What's her name? You ever seen the show Friday Night Lights? Clear Eyes, Full Heart, Can't Lose.
Oh yeah.
What's her name?
Minka Kelly.
She's on it. Ransom Canyon. Thank you, Debbie. There it is. Ransom Canyon. Minka's on it. We just finished season 1. So I went and got my meds this morning, right? And I'm driving halfway here, talking to my wife. I'm like, all right, when I do this, no return, right? I'm talking myself into doing this, guy. Like, this is where the anxiety got to. It's not overcoming me, but it's like, all right, I'm here. And it's okay to be there. So, PSA, go get checked out, and it's okay. And if you guys want to talk to us about it, chime in on the stream. We're here. We'll have those sessions. Okay?
Happy for you.
Yeah. So we're there. So it was nice. I think a lot of that is, and last thing I was saying is, a lot of that is one, you get answers, but it's reassurance that you're okay. Right? He literally walked in the door and goes, here's your report. I already read it. He goes, I know what you're going through. Number 1. 2, your blood work, and God bless him. God, oh, whoa, man. A 48-year-old man, he said, with the blood work of an 18-year-old kid. So I'm like, it is okay to get that reassurance. And I think that's what a lot of us need. Right? Because I was waking up, with the weird pains stuff. So again, sports show. Here we go. It's okay not to be okay. We're here for you guys if you ever need that too. Debbie, thank you. And Todd, thank you. Good morning. And Shane, good morning. Back to Huskers a little bit here, as it's okay not to be okay and get fixed. Husker defense.
What a transition that is.
I was thinking about this defense a lot. I think about this team a lot. And again, this has been thought for probably years now. Is it finally okay? And again, this is a big question, because Nebraska has lived in the past for so long. Is it finally okay to remember the past, but not have to be the past? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And defense more than anything. It is okay, I think, now to say the 90s were phenomenal. We won in the 70s. We won in the 90s. But quit drawing the past saying we have to be that. I think about this a lot with that, and I think about a lot in golf. It is okay for the next golf. Jackson Cluven, you are not Tiger Woods. You do not have to be Tiger Woods. You probably never will be. It is okay for this team to have some elements of it, but not have to be it. Because I know so many people right now, I've talked to fans, I've talked to people like, well, when are they handing out the black shirts? I don't care. I don't care. And that's probably a bad I don't care. Now, because there's he spoke about this. I think it's clip 21. What it means to be a DC at Nebraska.
Extremely honored by it. Like when you took this job, obviously I'm from the Midwest. I understand the tradition of the black shirts in this program, and the levels it's been at. And I want to see people talk about Nebraska the way they should. And I'm really, really proud of the guys in the locker room and the way they go about their business. I'm really, really pleased where we're at. But I try to never make anything that's not the main thing the main thing. I'm trying to do my job the best I can and go to work on the details of our defense operating.
I want people to talk about Nebraska the way they should. You've heard that from other coaches. So that's not the be all end all of, okay, that guy's going to work out here, but it's saying the right things.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Being a Midwest guy, knowing what Nebraska was, there is a different level to it. And it doesn't mean you have to be that. I think it was Mario Cristobal who talked about bringing back the U.
Yeah.
And his whole take was that, hey, I'm not bringing back the U. You can't do it. He's essentially said, I am bringing the U into the modern era of college football. I'm not bringing back the U. I'm updating the U. There's a fine line to walk there, but it's the mentality you got to have. As much as Husker fans would like it, you're not bringing back the 90s.
No. And it's okay.
You can bring back great football, but college football's changed.
Yes. There could be elements of it, right? There could be elements of this. It's okay to blend the two. But it doesn't have to be that. And we have to stop. I think, like I said, the landscape has just changed completely. Can you bring back great football? Yeah, absolutely.
Like think about what Miami was last year. Was that a great football team? Yes. Was that the U?
Nope.
Mario Cristobal, this is a couple months ago. He said it's driving him bananas that people are saying the U is back. It's not what he wants to be. That's not his style. He's not going and copying and pasting. I mean, the U back in the day had swagger.
Oh, boy. You ever watch those 30-30s?
Yeah.
Back? Oh, that was the U was the U.
The U was that was not what last year's Miami team was. They were still a great football team. They still made it to the national championship game.
They had elements of it at times, but that was it.
But it wasn't the U.
Mm-mm.
And that's why Nebraska still has, and so many people have talked about this, and I've said it a lot. A lot of people said Nebraska is never going to be what it was before. And and we have had conversations on the air over the last 10 years with people saying Nebraska is never going to be what they were. Nebraska can be great. Tom Osborne ain't walking through that door and coaching the football team again.
Nope.
It's about bringing Nebraska into the modern era. And what this season needs to be is it needs to be a building block, a foundational piece, letting you know, hey, this team has what it takes to be a great football program. This can be a team with a great offensive line, a great running game, a defense that flies around, and it's still not going to be 1990s Nebraska, and that's okay.
And it's fine. Lane chimes in here, and I think it's exactly. He says, I don't need the 90s. I would give anything just to be competitive and win some top 25 games every year. It'd be fantastic to finish in the top 20 every single year. I just had a lot of thoughts about that because I know we get, as fans, as historical fans, we get asphyxiated on certain things. It's the 90s. Some of the older fans get the 70s. And we get asphyxiated on when they're going to hand out the black shirts and what that means when it's completely different.
Yeah, football is changing. What it takes to win is ever changing. You can have a football team at Nebraska that is reminiscent of the 90s, but it's never going to be the 90s, if that makes sense. You can have a dominant football team. It's just not the 90s.
Mm-mm.
There is inspiration you can take from that, but you can't follow the blueprint. So with that in mind, we saw the option yesterday.
Yep. Oh, boy.
Thoughts? Discuss among yourselves. But
how much of that makes me want to believe that was just a
let's
give him a little taste.
Let's throw the media a bone.
Yeah,
20 minutes, give him something to chew on through fall camp. But it's honestly the perfect representation of what I'm talking about. Of you can have that was not the option of the 90s. Folks are still
no.
folks
Here's
still
the
love
deal.
it.
That was not That was like some speed option stuff,
that's-
right?
that's-
Speed.
Shotgun speed option.
Mhm.
You're reading one guy.
Yep.
You leave the defensive end unblocked. If he comes after the quarterback, you pitch it
Fine.
off to the running back. If he plays it conservatively, you have a guy in Calandria that can cut it up and go get 5-6 yards.
Yep.
It's
It's
again not the 90s.
Something in cloud of dust.
It's the
Well,
it's
but-
the new era of utilizing a quarterback that's got some dynamism in his legs.
How many people saw that clip as old Husker fans said, "Why is he in shotgun?
Where's the fullback?
Yeah.
Get him under center." But I think what it does, it just shows you maybe some diverse elements that you might see. It's showing you the diversity of your quarterback. Okay. Because I think what you are going to get is different elements. Also, for me, I'm not going to sit here and do what people are going to do and compare him to Dylan last year. I don't care. It's different. Different person, different name, different elements. Okay. Because I know people are like, it's going to be so nice to not see a statue. I don't care anymore. Flip the page, turn it. But I think it does show you some diversity of what Calandria can bring to your offense. There's going to be elements where you have that. There might be elements of that where it's one of those fake options that they can put. I mean, there's so many elements of that, what that scheme looked like, they can do from.
Well, and there's something important there is it shows how a quarterback with legs can stress a defense.
Yep.
If Ohio's paying attention, now that they've seen that one clip, you know what they're going to be working on in that week before the Nebraska game?
Here's the
They're going to be working defensively, your rules whenever you play the option. Who's got who? And even if Nebraska doesn't pull it out, and I don't think this is about beating Ohio, but it's what I'm saying, like the threat of quarterback and the quarterback run brings the defense. Ohio now has to spend time in their week leading up to Nebraska saying, okay, we saw this coming out of Husker camp. How do we defend a speed option?
I think all the elements of that is going to lie within the running back room, because over time you can really tip your hand based on who the running back is. You look at the really good running back rooms across college football, they run a running back in and out. Guess what they can do? All the same things.
You can run every play in the playbook.
Nebraska has over time sent a running back out and going, oh, we'll stack the box.
They're
They're
dropping back to pass.
They're not throwing it. It's their blocking guy.
I mean, number one guy that stands out, love the guy. But if Ramir Johnson came into a football game,
Look, man, I'm going to try to chip you and get a screen. He wasn't trying to block.
no, and he also wasn't going to go power run.
I mean,
You get the occasional draw, or you'd get Ramir Johnson run out to the flat because here comes the pass.
or a
play.
guy like Anthony Grant. I'm coming to knock you out.
Yep.
Sucker. Get in my way. I'm going to knock you over. Right. But I think that element of that needs to be that all whatever three running backs we got can do at least two of the same things.
They need to be able to they can bring their own elements to the offense, but you can't give a tell. They need to all be able to run the same base plays from the Husker offense that doesn't give a full, hey, Mosey might be more dangerous out of the backfield than Nelson, but it can't be a case of Mosey's coming into the game, they're throwing the football here.
Extremely predictable. Saw a lot of that last year.
So it's fine you're back in the option, but it's what part of that element is the running back to display more action when you're back there. It did spark a media frenzy yesterday.
I'm sorry. I hopped
No,
on,
not just you. It was everybody.
I hopped on Twitter yesterday and started talking about the option. Okay, now everybody's talking about the option.
I think it was everybody. It's like, oh, option. We're back. Nebraska football is back. So I think wrapping it up, it's going to be okay. Like as Nebraska develops the defense and the offense to be talked about who you are now. Right. And I'm not saying this is new Nebraska. Just within the parts that you have, work within those parts and who those people are. It's okay for us to sit back and let it happen.
Well, and it's one of the things I talked about in our first segment of the job of, it's not just Orich, but you look at Maher and Humphrey in the special teams. You look at Dana on the offense. It's about bringing your strengths to the forefront and trying to hide and minimize the weaknesses that you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's the simplest job of a coordinator. Designing an offense, designing a defense, designing a special teams unit that brings your strengths to the forefront and tries to minimize weaknesses, because every single coordinator out there, once the season rolls around, is going to be looking at weaknesses in the opponent and looking to take advantage of those. How do you minimize those weaknesses? And every single unit out there in the country has at least a weakness, and some weaknesses are smaller than others, but there are weaknesses.
There are. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this ride. Okay? Again, let them do work. Don't worry about when the black shirts are getting handed out. There's the two things that we're creeping up on
That's a whole
as Nebraska
conversation.
fans and Nebraska media, because the media we're in this too, right? Is what are the two things we're looking at? Black shirts, and then we're waiting on the first depth chart. That's the season we're in right now. You could be pleasantly surprised. I'll be just watching the development of this defense. Just development. Right? Not getting so asphyxiated on the two guys that aren't there anymore. Right? Now, are there concerns? Yeah, we're going to be concerned. Everybody out there is concerned about our defensive line. Let it develop. See what happens. The camaraderie. I mean, there's things that can happen to bring that unit completely together. It looks pretty special over time. But I think we have to get our brains wrapped around, our heads wrapped around that this is not going to be. And I think this is across the country mostly, right? The defense that's you're going to look up and go, man, they average only giving up less than 10 points a game type atmosphere anymore, right? We could see some really good football, though. But also with a attacking, high-flying, go-for-the-ball defense, you're going to see some really good plays, and you're going to see some ones that go, oh, we got burnt.
Well, whenever you think of a great defense, what team nationally do you think of a team that always has great defense?
Alabama.
Notre Dame, Georgia.
I think of Georgia. That 2020 was it the 2022 team or the 2021 team that won the Natty for Georgia?
Is that when they had Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith,
2021? Yeah,
everybody that's on the Eagles right now.
Yeah, their defensive stats. That was a generational defense, I think. I mean, how many? It was 6 first-round picks, 5 first-round picks in that defense.
And what did they end up doing? What are their stats?
270 yards allowed per game, 10.2 points. That was a generational defense. We're not in the era of a great defense allows 6 points a game.
Yeah.
I think if this Husker defense by the end of the year is allowing on average 23 points a game, I think you'll take that. Honestly.
All day long.
And to some people that might sound like a lot, but that's just the era of college football that we're in.
So a lot more. Camp is off and running. We got defensive stuff going on, offensive stuff going on. I think they're leading up maybe to a scrimmage coming up. Saturday scrimmage coming up. Hats on hats coming. All that good stuff.
I'm trying to think here. Where does it have scoring defense? The Big Ten. I'm trying to find.
Oh, did you?
Here we go. Is that right? Did Ohio State's defense allow 9.3 points per game last year?
Last year they were stout, but But wasn't their schedule kind of odd last year? I don't have it. Let me look.
Is that just Big Ten play? I might just be Big Ten play. Let's check the schedule here.
Check the schedule.
Yeah, it looks about right, actually. The Miami put up 24 on them. If you, as a defense, are allowing 23 points per game, based on what you saw last year, that'd be 10th best defense
in the Big Ten.
In the Big Ten, which I think if you're top 10, but not top 5, with as bullish as I am on this Husker offense, I think you'll win a good amount of games.
A lot more to come.
Somewhere in that 20 to 24 number should be good for you.
Be good for you. So, all right, let's take our final break at the first hour. Come back with This Day in Sports. They were stout last year.
And they didn't even win the national title.
And
they didn't even win the
national title. They didn't win the Natty. What did Indiana do? They scored a lot of points. Indiana had to be, top 10 defense? They were pretty good, too.
Indiana allowed 11.7 points per game across 16 games. Texas allowed 7 against Texas, 0 against Grambling, 9 against Ohio, 6 against Washington, 3 against Minnesota. That's crazy. The highest scoring team against Ohio State last year, not named Miami, was, can anyone guess?
Just say that again.
The highest scoring team against Ohio State last year, not named Miami, so not counting the college
Was it
football playoff.
Indiana?
It's not Indiana.
They did play, right?
Yes, Big Ten title game, but
That was big. Yeah,
Indiana only put up 13 on them.
Iowa?
Not Iowa.
Okay, thank gosh. I don't know then.
Illinois.
What? Illinois found a way. Was that
Illinois put up 16 points on them.
Luke Altmaier in that role last year?
Yeah. Illinois put up 16 on them, and that was the most points that Ohio State allowed in the regular season.
Yikes.
Next was Penn State with 14.
Yikes. One-offs.
Michigan put up 9, Rutgers 9, UCLA 10, Purdue 10.
That's
Penn State 14, Illinois 16. Those are the highest scoring teams.
and they don't win the Natty.
And Miami puts up 24 on them. And the season's over.
Good night. To read this one. After the story this morning. Like a little Charlie, what's in my league? Well, yeah, what, a couple minutes when we come back?
I was going to guess.
Oh.
I was going to guess. You're taking all the fun away from me.
Dang. Fun place over there. You could be director of HR.
How many seconds?
I'll go
7.
2 minutes and 21.
Hooks, you got it right on the nose.
Dang.
2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Coming back.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Just a couple moments left to hang out with you guys and gals. Thanks for hanging out with us on a hump day. Do this day in sports. How about this? This is perfect. On this day in 1969, the Boston Celtics sold for an NBA record $6 million in
Wow, that's huge.
1969. As
Compare
the
that
news,
to now Lakers $12 billion.
yeah, the news breaking this morning that the Lakers are selling for $12 billion. About that. What else we got? There's a lot of baseball ones out.
In 1963, baseball legend Stan Musial announces he will retire at the end of the year.
I got to pick this one just because of the picture.
Just because of the picture.
1886, W.G. Grace makes his highest Test cricket score, scoring 170 against Australia at the Oval. What's your guys' highest Test cricket score? Do you know?
I'm going to see if I, before the commercial, get this guy's picture up. What's his name again?
W.G. Grace.
I miss the days whenever people were just first initial, middle initial.
Yeah, come on.
Let's pull it up here. This guy just looks like, see that, Hooksy? For those that are listening on the radio, you're missing out on the stream here.
Oh,
What a beard.
he just looks like he died.
It's shocking because he's probably like 23 years old
I
in that
got
picture.
so yeah. They didn't age well back then.
The man's in the prime of his life.
And he looks like that. My goodness. Oh man, lots more coming up. We've got Husker legend Henry T. Buchanan joining the show. Also Jeff Moats, the Almanac. You guys sit back, relax. We'll be right back.
remodeling project requires weeks and months of consideration. There's a better way. Just call Reynolds Design and Remodeling. From layout and design to selection of colors, countertops, and cabinetry.
I'm Pam Magner, General Manager. We take great pride in being able to give you the bath, kitchen, or room you envision, and the start-to-finish relationship you hope for.
Craftsmanship, dependability, integrity. Do it right with Reynolds. Check out ReynoldsDesignRemodel.com and get started.
If I'm being honest, online search felt like a mystery, and our website kept taking the blame. We knew something was off. It felt like the content was there, but it wasn't getting noticed by the right people. And we certainly didn't need more guesswork or more updates falling into the void. We needed real insight, fast. That's why we turned to Firespring. They helped us make sense of search, cut through the jargon, and turn good content into the right content people noticed in search. Thanks, Firespring.
That's right. For more than 30 years, Firespring has helped businesses and nonprofits show up strong. From first impressions to getting found online. That means marketing, website, print, and promotional support that builds trust and keeps you top of mind. We know how it goes. Get noticed for the right reasons with Firespring, a brand experience company. Visit firespring.com to learn more.
Listen Saturday mornings to Start Moving with the experts from Coldwell Banker NHS Real Estate. They'll have all the hints to guide you through the process of buying or selling a home smoothly. Start Moving every Saturday morning at 9:30 right here on KFOR.
When is a calculator more than a calculator? When it takes me from solving math problems
to exploring the universe.
Staples is your back-to-school destination. Find all the supplies and inspiration you need. Come in store this week for great deals under $1. Right now, Staples one-subject notebooks are just 25 cents each, and Staples composition books, 2 pocket poly folders, and 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents each. Staples, back to school and beyond. In store only, ends 8/31/19. Limit 30 on notebooks, folders, and crayons while supplies last.
Let's go! With Liberty Plus checking from Liberty First Credit Union, your money helps you move forward. Earn up to 5.50% APY on balances up to $40,000. Plus, rack up My LFCU rewards that you can redeem for cash, travel, and more. With relationship pricing on savings, CDs, and loan rate discounts, Liberty Plus checking helps you earn more with $3. Let's go! Earn with Liberty Plus checking. Visit LibertyFirstCU.com.
Qualifications apply. Visit LibertyFirstCU.com for details. Never NCU mix. Nobody builds a business without hearing a few reasons it won't work. Too risky, too crowded, too ambitious. But the people who move things forward usually hear those words first. Because growing a business takes more than optimism. It takes nerve, and eventually, a partner built for what's next. That's Next Rodeo. Big thinking, proven creative. For businesses still moving forward. Next Rodeo. The difference between the business you have and the business you want. Meet us at thenextrodeo.com.
You decided to buy new flooring, you want it installed right away. Hi, Steve Carper from O Street Carpet. With our huge in-stock supply of carpet, tile, and vinyl, wood, and laminate flooring. You buy today and we'll install it right away. While other stores don't deliver that kind of service, we do. In fact, if you'd have purchased your flooring last week at O Street, you'd be enjoying it today.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street and OStreetCarpet.com.
Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, and KFRX HD3, Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Could there be a plea deal in the works for accused CEO killer Luigi Mangione? Sources tell ABC News it is a possibility. Here's ABC's Matt Rivers.
ABC News is now reporting that both sides, the defense and the prosecution, is going to discuss a potential plea deal in the federal case on Friday. We know that both sides have discussed a potential plea deal going back a few months ago. It was actually in June. We're not sure how close they got in the federal case to getting to an actual plea agreement, but we know this has been discussed before.
It's unclear if there is a plea deal reached, what that would mean for the state case, which is set to begin just after Labor Day. The Los Angeles Lakers are being sold, multiple sources say, to Disney CEO Bob Iger and businessman Josh Kushner for a record $12 billion. The two saying in a statement, as lifelong NBA fans, we are deeply honored for the opportunity to become stewards of one of the most iconic sports franchises in the world. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley winning the Democratic primary for governor over Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong. He spoke moments ago.
Today, I stand before you filled with gratitude, with humility, and hope as I formally accept the Democratic nomination to be the next governor of the state of Wisconsin.
Prices, we're all paying for everything 3.4% higher this time than a year ago, according to new numbers just released by the Labor Department.
This is pretty much in line with expectations. That 3.4% inflation rate is about where analysts thought it would be when you look at kind of across the board prices in the economy. It's a good thing that we don't see that number going up, that inflation isn't accelerating, but it is still above where the Federal Reserve and overall households want inflation to be.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. The search for survivors in the rubble of Colombia's earthquake is growing more desperate. Thousands of people are still missing under the debris. You're listening to ABC News.
That'll be 84.52.
Perfect. Grab the bags, honey. Mom, why do you always check your phone before we pay? I'm just claiming my cash back on the Upside app. Since we're getting the groceries here and we filled up the car on the way, I've already earned enough this morning to pay for that pizza night we're having Friday. Wait, so the app pays for pizza? Not exactly, but the cash we earn on stuff we need helps us pay for the stuff we want. It's just a little win for our family every week.
Get more out of your everyday. Upside is the free app that gets you cash back on routine purchases like gas, groceries, and dining out at more than 100,000 locations nationwide. No points, no rebates, just cash back straight to your wallet. Download the free Upside app and use promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus on your first purchase. That's promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus. Remember, use promo code ACT5.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
New information in a lawsuit against a former Husker women's basketball assistant coach. Good morning. I'm Jeff Mode. Still a cloudy sky in some parts of the area. It's 77 degrees at KFOR. So new information in a lawsuit against former Nebraska women's basketball assistant coach Chuck Love, who's being sued by a former player regarding a sexual relationship that led to her dismissal from the team. USA Today is reporting Love filed a motion for a summary judgment on July 31st, arguing the relationship he had former Husker Ashley Scoggin was consensual and did not violate the Constitution. Love, along with Husker head women's basketball coach Amy Williams and former Nebraska athletic director Trev Alberts, are being sued by Scoggin, who is alleging that she was groomed to have a sexual relationship with Love. She was kicked off the team after the relationship was uncovered during a Husker road trip in February 2022. Read more at KFORnow.com. A house fire late Tuesday afternoon west of 56th and Pine Lake Road did about $140,000 damage. LFR says crews were called to the home in the 5200 block of Elk Ridge Road. The fire went up the outside the home and into the attic. No reports of injuries. 4 cats were saved. A failure with propane grill is to blame. Improvements were made by Lincoln Transportation Utilities to make it safer for drivers and kids around school zones. LTU Director Liz Elliott says crews put in a new curb extension near 60th and Aylesworth Avenue on the south side of Brownell Elementary's campus.
This extension improves visibility for students and reduces the distance they have to travel to cross the street. Our team also installed new reduced speed limit signs and refreshed crosswalk markings to support safer crossing.
Read more about the other improvements at area school zones at KFORnow.com. A ballot measure will go before voters November 3rd that would help fund construction of a North Lincoln volleyball complex near 30th and Folkways Boulevard. The nonprofit N4VB is asking voters to consider approval of the turnback tax, which would redirect a portion of state sales tax revenue generated by the complex and new development nearby back to the city to help pay for the complex's construction. The total cost is $17 million. Becoming mostly sunny later on today, a high of 93. I'm Jeff Motes, KFOR News.
A new school year means a fresh start for Nebraska students. Hi, I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Every child walks into school with unique talents, interests, and dreams. Public schools help students discover who they are and what they can become. As the new year begins, let's celebrate the opportunities that help every child learn, grow, and succeed, because every child matters. This message sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Happy hump day. Thanks for hanging out with us. Got our guy, Henry T. at Buchanan, Husker legend. What up, T?
What's up, Bill? What's Elijah? What's happening, YZ? Man, it's the solar eclipse going on, huh? But it's not gonna fly over. We're not gonna see it, right?
Is that what's going on?
It's in Europe, isn't it?
Yeah, Europe and I think Canada, part of Canada as well.
I had no clue.
Yeah. Well, we got our full eclipse. What was that? About 10 years ago now. Whenever it came across Lincoln.
It's so weird. We had this discussion like last week with my kids about when the last one was, and we'll never see one again. Well, my lifetime. I think the next one's like, I don't know. But we had that full one. Was that? I think I remember being at the Salt Dogs game.
Well, I remember it was my freshman year of college. I think it was. So is that 17 or 18? 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. I think it was fall, like early or maybe late summer 2017.
I'm looking. I have pictures.
It was like right whenever I started my college career. It was sweet.
Look at us. We jumping on the show talking about eclipses.
No, man, that's a big deal, though.
It is. Those are the historical moments. Right here. This is it. We were at Haymarket, August 21st, 2017.
Yeah.
I was at Haymarket Park. The glasses on.
Yeah, I was on my grandma's roof.
But how many of y'all had to go look at it without your glasses?
I didn't do that. I was scared. Here's my kids. Like, these are the kids. Like, the kids, they had they were back in 10 years ago like that. They were in daycare still almost. Like, they had like these little like.
Oh, that's awesome.
They like made little things on them. It was cool.
It's good stuff. But yeah, it's a lot going on though, fellas. You got football around the corner.
That's right. T, I got a question for you, like golf. So I told the boys this morning, every year I think millions and millions of people put out, like, I'm not going 18 birdies yet. I saw you shaking your head. We're not going there yet, but we will.
Yeah, I know you are. Hey, and I see Elijah licking his chops.
He's playing.
Handicap might have increased by a decimal or something.
We'll get to that. We have handicap tracking going on.
It wasn't a bad round. We'll get to there.
But every year people put in for the Masters tickets, and every year everybody gets disappointed. This year I also put in for the Open Championship tickets. It's in St. Andrews.
Oh.
I got 4 for 2 days. I have not bought him yet. I don't know what to do, but it looks like there's 4 squares here.
What?
I don't know, man. I got him. It's like keeps emailing me. Hey, you have until the 15th. The 15th. It's like that's the notice.
Now, when is that? Next year?
Next year, yeah, 2027, July, like 11 through the something. And I have like Tuesday and Saturday tickets that I can go purchase.
Man, I haven't. Well, I don't want to go there yet. Because I'm trying to debate on my retirement, and it's. I'm figuring out my dates and
you're starting to file are you trying to file paperwork here?
Well, I'm thinking about it, but I still, we're talking 2027, talking about next year, but next year is going to be it for me. I just haven't determined when next year.
Now, what type of retiree are you going to be? That's my question. Are you going to be a sit at the coffee shop with your buddies every morning type of retiree? Are you going to be on a front porch drinking your coffee? You're going to be on the golf course every morning? There's so many different types of retirees out there, and I'm curious what type you want to be.
Well, number one is I got to get my golf game right.
Yep. Okay.
I can't stay in the 20s as a handicap guy. I got to get into low teens at some point in my life before I can't play anymore. So that's going to be the ultimate goal. Then, of course, traveling, man. I'm going to be traveling. I mean, I like that idea of making it to Andrews I've never been to a PGA event. So whatever event I go to is going to be my first. And I just haven't had the opportunity to go to the Waste Management out here yet, so I'm, let's keep that open. And how long you have till you have to make a commitment?
I got what is today? I got 3 days.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man, that's so enticing, but we'll see. Let me give me a few days to think about that one. But yeah, I got a lot going on. 2027 gonna be a big year for me. So,
well, let's real quick before we get into it. We got we haven't heard from this guy in a long time. He wants to come on and say hi. It is Ernesto. What's up, brother?
Not much, guys. How's the handle maker, the heartbreaker, the chicken whisperer, and the ankle breaker doing? Woo!
What's up, Ernesto? What's happening, brother?
Not too much, man. Mr. Hooks told me to flip a coin with Jacksonville on both sides, but me and my girl are up in Indianapolis now, man. So having a good time.
You made it to Indy. That's the location now.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
my old
we moved into-
stomping ground. That's where I was born and raised.
Well, we're going to have to talk. I still got your number, my brother, and I still appreciate you taking the time to see me over at Chili's over there on Atlantic that day, man. You are a true legend, and I respect you, man.
Appreciate that.
All right, you guys, y'all keep banging it. Hey, and then look up my song, because my girl's got that booty. That's from the boys from the bottom. Whoa!
Ernesto. Appreciate you, brother. That is such good stuff. We haven't heard from him in a while, man.
No kidding. I haven't even seen comments from him or from Chad. Unless he changed his email or his ID or whatever you call it.
It's on there. It's like Danny Sims. Danny Sims 544. I'm just kidding. I don't even know. Ernesto's out there. He's doing good stuff. You going 18 birdies, and we got an update.
It was a 10 over across 9 at the old stomping ground for T.
That's like a bogey and a half golf. That's fine.
Hey, there was no pars, which means it was bogey every hole except for one. That's not bad.
Yeah, I'm having problems making it to the green in regulation. No matter what I do, I've tried everything, and I think I just need to relax in this.
You've tried everything. Have you tried hitting better shots?
I got nothing.
When you're behind trees and you're in the rough all the time, you're looking for your ball. That's not a good thing. And we play ready golf, and it's 3 to 4 of us every week, and we're probably the fastest golfers on the course with us looking for our balls. And I know this course like the back of my hand, and it's just I guess I want it so bad. I'm trying to break 40, and more I try, the harder it gets. And I think I just, like some guys do. I know Ked is becoming a really good golfer, and he spends a lot of time at the driving range, and that's something that I don't do, and I need to implement that. And maybe that'd be part of my retirement, is spending more time at the golf course and the driving range and working on my game, is because I just show up and play, so that's how I get better.
Now, I'm impressed. You got through 9 holes in 1 hour and 24 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. We don't mess around.
Ooh, how long? 1 hour and 24 minutes, 9 holes.
Trying to think about the number of strokes you took and how efficient that was.
No, we count all our strokes.
No, I'm just saying that's efficient.
Oh yeah,
man, that's getting after it.
That's a shot almost every 2 minutes.
Well, and we're so fast that sometimes we don't. Well, I don't think it's any time that all 3 or 4 of us is watching each other putt. We're already walking to the next hole.
Oh,
we're ready to roll. And the only thing that's changed in the last 5 years is that I can't have the mimosas and things in the morning, or the shot of, or when a couple of the guys there was a couple of birdies, so they was able to do their little birdie shots, with their fireball, and so I'm giving them fist pumps, and I get my big jug of water, but hey, speaking of, fellas, I did get my results, and my results is lowest it's ever been.
Nice.
Started out with a ratio of 1 to 2,064, and I'm down to 1 to 4. So it's decreased 2,060. I don't know what that means. I just know that it's almost out of my system. So I'm getting there. And then after I get to 0, then I got to determine if I still have that taste for that beverage. And we'll just have to wait and see on that.
I did the math, T. Your last round, you hit a shot every 112 seconds, which is impressive.
T, I didn't know what to say with that.
No way.
That's what the stats would say. I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate with how long your round took, but yeah, a shot every 112 seconds, which is super impressive.
Oh, trust me, I got a towel. I'm sweating because I'm working. It's a workout for us, and that's why we move a lot. And their dad, who lives in Prescott, is in town, and he's a part of the original 4. and he's faster than I am. I mean, as soon as he's done, I mean, sometimes I'm not on the green. I see him already walking to his bag, going to the other hole. I'm like, are you going to watch me chip and putt? And I'm like, okay, I get it. So we keep it moving. And I love it, though. I love the speed golf. And maybe that's another reason why my game is not improving, because, I don't really take my time. I'm ready golf. I get there and I swing and keep it moving. But I will take my time when us four get together, and because I am not coming in last.
Ooh. He's looking at you guys. Husker legend Henry T. Buchanan hang out with us on the morning hookup. T, hey, let's talk about hoops real quick. Let's talk about the depth of this Nebraska team. As you look at it, I mean, depth on paper. Look at him; he's got his printouts. Depth on paper. I guess the question is how you won basketball. I mean, you played on some teams that had a lot of depth, and you had one basketball, and how you rotate them in. And because there are a lot of people say, well, it's like, the old thing. If like, well, we have so many of this, which means you have none of that kind of talent or depth. But talk about that, like the depth, sharing of the basketball, the ins and outs. To me, I think when you look at depth, and maybe it's when you talk depth, it's on any given night. If somebody doesn't have it, you have somebody else that can step in.
And that's exactly what that is. You have the next man up. And when you have this much depth, practices, you're getting better in practices. You're going at it. You're trying to earn the starting position. You're trying to earn playing time. You want to be that first man, off the bench. And the coaches, that's a luxury that they have. When you can depend on 10 to 12 players that you can exchange at any moment, it doesn't change the momentum. It doesn't change what's going on the floor. And the type of offense that Coach Hoiberg runs is interchangeable. They don't have your traditional, point guard who's setting everything up. He may change a little bit this year with Reinhardt and the others. It'll be yet to see, and I'm sure he's analyzing that as we speak. With the talent that he has and the type of players, which is going to be a different makeup than he had last year, because you don't have Lawrence, you don't have Sam Hoiberg that's kind of running the offense, and you have two different bigger guards. We have a bigger team, a more athletic team, and probably a better shooting team this year. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this team gels and how early they gel, which is going to be important when the season starts. But having that depth, because I remember my first year at Nebraska, when I was coming off the bench the first 3 games, and I'm sitting there just waiting, toes tapping, waiting on my opportunity. And once I got my opportunity, I started for the rest of my career, because I was determined to get in there. But I wasn't upset that I didn't start the first 3 games, because Joe Seeley was phenomenal in practice. You got Bayless, who's a returning player from last year, who was a stud athlete, with Brian Carr and Brian and Bernard Day and Bill Jackman and Dee Vick and I are coming in, and Jeff Reckaway. We just Van Pogies came along with us. And you had Mike Marks, who was there, Keith Newbert, who was there, and we had guys who was from Mo Iba's team. Then of course the new regime is coming in. Some of Coach Nee's new recruits coming in, and we're working out and we're competing, and practice was brutal. We went after it, and Coach Nee had that luxury. When I think our starting 5 at the beginning of the season was Bill Jackman and Bernard Day and Derek Vick, Joe Sealer and Brian Carr. But it ended up with myself and Brian in the backcourt, with Dee Vick and Bernard and Bill, and then Van Pogies had his opportunities, Reckaway had his opportunities, Joe Sealer still played, and Keith Newbert was integral coming off the bench. We also had Rodney Curtis, who had redshirted that year, and I think he played a little bit our first year. I got to remember that. I have to call Rodney to see how that played out. But I remember Rodney being an integral part, and I thought that he was going to be someone that came in and was going to be in the backcourt with myself alone. We were going to be a 3-guard rotation with him and I, and EJ, Eric Johnson, our senior year. But it was, and I think that made Coach Nee's first year a lot easier, and that's why he was successful. Our team won 21 games, and which was at that time in the top 3 all time winning his teams that in his first year. And that had a lot to do with the senior leadership and the depth that we have. And it's going to be similar to this year when you got Price. Price is going to be the only senior, I think, and Connor, I think, is going to be the only seniors this year. And Kel, with the makeup that they have with the transfers first that came in, you got a couple of the freshmen who's going to make an immediate impact. So he's going to have a lot to play with, and it's going to be interesting in how that's going to play out. And I'm pretty excited to see the result of this. And I think this team is going to be something that the fans is going to be able to continue after, if you think about it, after winning the crown in our season last year, our expectations from a fan's perspective is risen. And I'm pretty sure with the coaching staff and these players, they expect to be better than they were last year. And they want to eclipse that 28 wins and surpass the Sweet 16 this year and maybe even compete for the Big Ten title. So there's a lot that this team, from a talent perspective can make it happen. And so it's going to be nice to kind of watch this all play out. And guys, this is going to be a fun team to watch. And I'm pretty excited about it.
All right. Awesome. Good stuff, T. We're going to take our first break. Good stuff. We're going to reset, come back, and we're going to have more of the legend, Husker legend, Henry T. Buchanan.
Yeah, man. Man. I can't wait. Sorry about that.
There you go.
What was that?
No, I was going to say I'm very excited about getting Morgan to talk football next week to see his thoughts, because he's like me. He's part of a group chat with former football players that, just like we do with our basketball chat, that we keep up with what's going on with our program, and I just wish I was there more often. And really, I can't wait to get there in a couple of weeks to go watch these guys practice, and then be back in September, end of September, for a couple of weeks to get a lot of time in that gym and watching these guys, getting to know them, and really be able to give, because I seen them earlier this summer, and I saw a couple, 2 or 3 practices, and that was just their first 2 or 3 live practices. So I like to see where they came from here moving forward. And because, man, this, I don't know, man. This basketball is becoming it's so exciting that, man, it's nice. I'm walking around with my chest sticking out, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we haven't been to this level ever. We've had some talent. Don't get me wrong. We've had talent over years, but success, this team making it to the Sweet 16 with a good chance of making it to the Elite 8, leading 80%, 90% of that game to make it to the Elite 8, man, that's golly. I mean, that's, I've been watching NCAA basketball for years, and then to see the Big Red in there competing, man.
It's a quick rise.
Oh man, it's nothing better in the feeling, man. And you only want to see that again,
And I want to get into when we come back. So I'll give you a second to think about this. I want to get into how a team deals with expectations, especially high expectations, and what's unique about this team this year. And I'll have to reset this all for the radio audience as well. You've turned over a new leaf with the roster. So there's a lot of guys that didn't get to experience the success that you had last year, but those guys that did experience success, how do they bring back that same hunger after what you accomplished last year, whenever the goal for their entire Husker careers up to this point has been, okay, go win an NCAA tournament game? How do you keep that same hunger? So think on that for a second. We don't want to that when we come back, but
absolutely. Yeah, and now, Elijah, you got me looking at my handicap. That's the first thing I look at after I hit it save. First thing.
Hey, results like that, they drive you now.
Hey, don't look at my 31.9 handicap.
Oh, okay.
Look,
I got to give you strokes.
I tell my kids
10 of them.
I tell my kids all the time, post them all, do them all, be who you are.
Oh yeah. But my goal is this. I can't wait till you say, God, he's at a 15 handicap. 14, 13.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. We got Husker legend Henry T. Buchanan hanging out with us, discussing results, handicaps. Do you like when you post it, your score? Do you hit post and I close my eyes?
Well, I have an ideal, like when I'm saving 45 in a 36 hole round. 9 holes. I'm sorry, 9 holes, and I'm posting 45. And I'm like, okay, that's one over. That's about a bogey round.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to calculate it. I said, well, that's if you calculate that, that's less than 20. How am I still at a 20?
Well, you got it. Like the handicap gen system is such a it's a calculated formula, but man, you got to look at like the slope, course rating, the differentials. It's like taking a math class that you're never going to use again in as you're going up in school. That's all it is. You'll never get it. We'll never understand it.
But T, we previewed this. So for those that listen on the stream, you heard me kind of preface this question already. But as we're talking about this Husker basketball team, there's expectation for them for, I think, the first time in my lifetime. The fact that there is excitement and there is an expectation. I mean, if this team doesn't make the NCAA tournament and win a game this year, it would feel like a bit of a letdown. Yeah. How does a team go about handling those expectations? I know there's new guys in the roster that didn't get experience of success last year, but whenever the whole conversation around Nebraska basketball has been, well, go and win an NCAA tournament game, they've accomplished that. How do you keep that hunger moving forward, knowing now there is expectation that is more than just, all right, go make the NCAA tournament? It's a higher level going into this year.
Well, it's simple. Think about us winning the crown and the players who experienced that success and, arguably should have been in the NCAA tournament, but the last 6 games of the regular seasons hurt us. But they had a really good run in the crown and won that. And then from that team, we lost 2 phenomenal players, in Gary and Bryce Williams, from that roster. 2 of our leaders, 2 a leading scorer. And actually, Bryce was first team all conference and second in the league in scoring. And, we lost that. So coming back to next year, how do we duplicate this and make it to the tournament? Guess what? Kel Jacobson made a big dent, played phenomenal in the Crown tournament. You had Sam Hoiberg, who was coming into his own. You had Frager, that was, he redshirted, didn't he? Was he part of the Crown?
I don't remember him being there. Who was he? Frager there?
Yeah.
He was redshirting.
Yeah, he's redshirting. So you had Burke. Remember, Mass was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Mass was hurt. So you had these guys who experienced winning towards the end, and all that whole team all year felt that they was the NCAA team, just like Boise, who we ended up beating in the championship. They felt that they were on the bubble and should have been a tournament team. And so coming into this last year, you had these guys who was hungry. Mass, who's coming off an injury. You had Frager, who was lipping, just toes tapping, ready to play and make a difference. A local kid, that's coming in this year. So you think about those guys with the guys that we brought in, that they were ready for this season. And you had Jamarcus Lawrence coming back, who had played for the university for 2 years and knew the system. So you already had your formula for success already coming back. Who started the season last year, and we started at 20-0 with Mass and those returnees and that's coming back with the new additions. This year, you got 2 of our top players coming back with. You had Connor part of that Crown tournament too. I keep, that's my homeboy. And then this year, you got 2 of our top players in Frager and Price coming back. You got Connor coming off an injury. You got Kel, who's been Mr. Consistent on the team. You got Leo Curtis, who's been coming around and who's improved each and every year. Then you got these new players who's coming from mid majors, some high majors. Boston College is in the ACC now. They're in one of the Power 5 conferences from a basketball perspective. South Dakota State was played in a mid-major, but plays really good ball up there. And you have San Diego State, who was a few years back made it to the Final Four. And I don't know if this kid was part of that team, but I don't think he was. But he, a big-time program. So you got these guys who's coming from programs, and we got two of the top freshmen in the conference who's coming to our team is going to be ready to play. So with that, all they got to do is number one is learn the system. And they're going to have help with the coaching staff and the returning players. And then, this coaching staff with Ernie and Nate and the rest, they are going to be able to assemble a team that's not only has the ability to score, but they have the ability to defend. They have the ability to rebound and run the floor. So, so on paper, I mean, this is probably I'll never say it's his best because it's going to be hard to duplicate what they accomplished last year. But I think this team definitely has the potential and can eclipse what the team did last year. But they are going to be very good and they're going to be very fun to watch. And only time's going to be able to tell. So I just think I don't think the pressure is going to be on them as much as we think it is, because you got most half this team didn't experience that, so, but they want to eclipse it. So that's going to be the hunger. And I'm sure Coach Hoiberg and his staff is going to instill that in this team, and some of the players who's helping them along and telling them, number one, it starts with preseason. It starts with the exhibition game. It starts with those pre-conference games. And then they definitely going to let them know how difficult it is to compete in the Big Ten. And then that's when all the experience come. They're going to learn early and often with the schedule that we have. So to your question, Elijah, I think they'll be okay.
You think the pressure of these expectations, they kind of just like, they don't really take it as pressure. They kind of take it for what it is and run with it, and kind of makes them want to be, makes them hungry and makes them want to work harder.
Well, it's going to be a challenge, but also you don't have, like I said, half this team is going to be new, either freshmen or transfer portal. So they can't compare what this team did last year. Some of the players, Connor missed the majority of the season, so he really didn't get a chance, as a player contributing. Early on he did, but with conference play and NCAA tournament, he was, he didn't get opportunity to compete. But you got three players that was huge in that run, along with Leo and Frager and Price and Kel Jacobson. So I don't think it's going to be as much pressure as we think it is, but and whatever pressure it is, I think this team's going to be able to handle it. Because you're not, it's going to be fun watching these, because you're not going to be able to key on Price this upcoming season, or Frager. We have too much talent. So it's going to be pick your poison. So I just think teams got to prepare for us, and, because we can still have one of the best coaching staff and one of the best coaches in the country, who arguably should have been the national coach of the year by himself, not sharing it with I stand corrected. That Michigan coach, they won the national tournament, so I take that back. But I know last year he should have won the Big Ten outright, even though I love the Purdue coach. He's from Muncie and who's been a consistently winning coach. But man, we got one of the best in the business from the collegiate level in Coach Hoiberg, and he's assembled a great staff. So I just think with that formula and the coaching staff with this type of team and these players and the talent level, I think they'll be all right. They have the maturity and the grit to overcome anything that's going to come their way.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to figure out how to ask like Price coming off what he did last year. How do you expectations for a guy like that to duplicate or come close to it based on, they're going to key on him, but you also got, you might go 9 deep, 9 guys that can shoot, or at least 7 of them that can shoot. But what is it like when you look at a guy like Price? Because it's real easy to go, man, we need that again next year. But for a kid like that, or guy, right? Like Price might be one of the best players in the country, by the way.
He's already is.
Right?
He already is.
And he's not getting that because he's probably at Nebraska, but he's one of the top 10 players in the country coming out. But he's at Nebraska, so they're not going to give it to him. But what is like for a kid like that, what is success like this year for him? Because like you look at that, it's like it's going to be really hard. Look at what he did last year. It'll be hard to duplicate exactly that.
Well, I think it'll be easier this year. Why?
Yeah, but again, you're hoping that everybody else is going to help take the pressure off. Hope.
Absolutely. And I think there's no doubt that they will. I think with this team, with Connor, because if you got Connor on the floor, Frager, and Price, and the size that we have, the players that we have, good luck trying to shut one person down. It's not going to be that easy, fellas. They can key all they want on Price, and if they do, Price is the type of player smart enough to allow them. He'll be the decoy. I don't mind Connor dropping 20. I don't mind Frager dropping 25. It's about the W at the end of the day. I'm going to do what it takes for us to win, and sometimes they're going to need me to be aggressive offensively. Sometimes they're going to need me to take the back seat to allow these other players, some of these players to grow, because we already know what Frager brings to the table. We know what Kale can do. Sometimes I wish he'll be more aggressive shooting the ball, because he shoots the ball very well. But he's so unselfish. But he does all of the dirty work. Connor, he's if he's feeling it, it's a done deal. So these other players, the freshmen, and I don't know how this is going to rotate. It's going to happen. I don't even know if anybody's going to is going to red shirt, but I know Rice can put it. Colin Rice can put it in the basket as well. Caden Betts has been practicing well. Jacob Lehner, the big kids are, man, we are loaded. Some of our big men can play and can shoot it. Leo can shoot it, and as he gets stronger, if we develop any type of inside game, it's going to make that perimeter shot a lot more easier for Price, Frager, and Connor, and the others who can shoot the jumper, which I think we have several players on this team who can flat out shoot it. So I don't think it's going to be as much pressure on him. I think the expectation of others of him is going to be a lot higher, because he's going to do whatever it takes for this team to win, and whatever Coach Hoiberg has him doing. But I'm sure with the type of offense, the NBA run type of offense that Coach Hoiberg, he's going to have some set plays for all of his players. And, of course, Price is Price. And he's going to be a hard guard. A player like that can shoot it at all levels, and that is that dangerous, and arguably the fastest. He has the fastest release I think I've ever seen. I know I've been arguing with D-Vic on this between him and Steph Curry. I think if you time it, he's right with him. And Curry shoots a little bit on his. Price doesn't have, jumps a little bit on his. Price doesn't have. He just, it's gone. And I'm telling you, man, he's going to be a problem.
I've been using Klay Thompson as my example for the longest time. Whenever Klay would fire it up, there was no indication. And kind of has the same Price Sanford, where how many points did he score that one game without taking a single dribble?
It was like 30 plus.
Yeah. I think he scored like 30 something points and didn't dribble once in the game. And it's because he could just pull up from anywhere, and there was no tell. It would just be catch fire before the defender could even get a hand even close to up.
But he was so good at that. We forget when he went to the bucket, he scored. When he posted up that mid-range, the turnaround, he's a lanky 6'7". So 9 times out of 10, they're going to have a guard trying to stop him, shoots right over him. A big man are too slow to guard him. So he's going to be a problem. And that release is like I said, I've compared him to Klay Thompson, but now I've moved past Klay to Steph. Now, Steph is, of course, the best shooter that we've ever seen in the history of basketball. But the fastest release, he's in that conversation. And I'm going to stick with that.
Husker legend Henry T. Buchanan with us. And T, before we get you out, we've spent some time talking football today, the Husker defense. I know you're a football fan yourself. What do you want to see from the Husker defense this year? Less from results and stats, but how do you want to see a defense play this year in the Big Ten? Because last year it got rough at the end of the year.
I just wanted to play tough, and I think I mentioned this, what Jason Peterson shared with us at the golf course in that Tim Jack fundraiser, and just that toughness, just, playing hard and going after it is one thing, but playing tough, hitting somebody in the mouth, I just remember, and I know we always go back to the mid-90s, because how dominant both offense and defensively we were. But what those teams had that as a former athlete, and I can't wait to get Morgan's take on this next week, is it's just that toughness. Because I remember even when we were in school, and I remember Morgan always telling me, and I'd love for him to tell these stories next week about how tough their practices were. The drills that they had to run with the defense, with the linebackers and the linemen. When you got John Marco and Leroy Etienne and Brian Washington and Broderick Thomas and them, you happen to come up the middle and catch the ball and get creamed. And just, this was practices. No, we wasn't playing flag football in practice. I mean, it was live practices. And he tells the story with Anthony Bayless kept trying to get in the back of the line. He didn't want any of that. This is in practice. And that's just that black shirts and have the tough, mean, gritty, and they will hit you in your mouth. And that's where we need to get back to. And don't get me wrong, the Big Ten is rugged, man. The Big Ten football is always, since I was a kid, it's always been that big, tough, rugged. The Nebraska type teams played in the Big Ten with me growing up, and they still like that. And we just need to get back to that. I just like to see that defense just get tough and hit somebody in the mouth and let them know that I'm here. We're here to stay. Because it's, in the days in football, defense wins. In most championships, you look at that defense. How many times, outside of the who was the team? Was the St. Louis Rams that had that offense that they just outscore you?
Mm-hmm. Greatest show on turf.
Yeah. How many types of teams like that wins the Super Bowl? Most of the time, you hear whoever wins the Super Bowl or even college football, it's the defense. That's where we got to get. That's where it starts. And if this quarterback is as good as we think he is or can be, and they say now, I just read the other day that we got our best offensive line that we've had in a long time. What they're saying. And if that's the case, and this quarterback is as good as they are, and our defensive line is doing their job, we're going to make some things happen, man. And I'm excited about the football program. I'm excited about this season and looking at their schedule and the potential. I know people laugh at me, Johnny and others. I still say 9, man. I'm going to stick with it. I'm saying a minimum of 9. It's going to be tough, but I looked at that schedule and I see 9 wins in that schedule. And but I think it's easy to say 5, 6, or 7 because of the past. But I'm not living in the past. I'm living in today and what's going on. And speaking of Morgan, I just want to give a shout out and some prayers for his mom. I know she's been dealing with some health issues, in the last couple of years. So I just want to make sure I throw that out there and looking forward to bringing him on the show next week.
Awesome. Well, T, great stuff, man. There is a promising fall and winter ahead for Husker Athletics. And, man, we appreciate you taking the time, my friend. And we'll be seeing you soon, too.
All right. Hey, go Big Red. And thanks for having me, fellas. I always enjoy talking to you guys.
Appreciate you, T. Take care of yourself, brother. But talk to you soon. Yep. Husker legend Henry T. Buchanan right there. Take our final break. Come back with the Almanac. Jeff Moats. Flip over. Okay, we're gonna go get that training.
Oh man, I don't even.
Elijah's gonna flip over. Caleb's gonna get the training on.
Oh, that's right.
Just that last.
Broncos country.
Broncos country.
Right.
You got your headphones? Okay. All right. See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to have my headphones.
Give me that cord. Where's that cord at?
Cord.
See you, Caleb. See you, brother. Have a good one. Should have you connected there, Moats. There we go.
Okay, gents, how are you?
Fantastic.
All right, I need get a link.
Link has been sent, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, it just popped up. So, been busy this week, fellas. I'm trying to get
City not sleeping and sabbatical. You got a couple of days coming up.
Yeah. How about them Lakers getting sold?
Woo! $12 billion.
Wow. Well, think about. I mean, that's your moneymaker.
We read
in
it.
LA.
We read this day in sports back in 1969. The Boston Celtics set the record. $6 million.
Oh, well back then.
It was a chunk of change.
It's almost 60 years ago. All right. Okay, enter studio. There we go. We got a couple more previews I got to put up here.
Foosball?
Foosball.
Foosball.
Yeah. All right. I'm backstage. There we are.
All right. Damn, my ears hurting.
Come back.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Special thanks here to Henry T. Buchanan, Husker legend. Another legend is joining the show now on a special edition of the Almanac. Jeff Moat.
I'm a legend in my own mind.
Oh, we all are, aren't we?
Claim
some claim to fame we got.
Hey, by the way, congratulations to the inductees in the Nebraska Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame on Tuesday night. Kevin Kugler,
congrats,
who we're all familiar with, is inducted. Former 10-11 meteorologist Ken Shimmick, and then former TV anchor in Omaha John Nicely, and former Lincoln radio personality, but primarily been up in the Omaha area for most of his career, Steve Lundy, who I worked with in a former radio live. So I wanted to get that out of the way and offer my congratulations to them. And then we got our awards dinner tonight, which I will be attending. So we'll see what we get for awards.
Look at that.
There we go.
A lot going on. Congrats all those members of the Hall of Fame out there. And also congrats, man. What about Carpetland?
Man,
my goodness.
They had to win back-to-back games over Rapid City, South Dakota Sunday, and they won both games by the final 5-1.
Hello, pitching.
Yeah,
pitching and defense, baby.
And Brendan Greesh and Huxton Cott, who play on the Carpetland team, had to rush back to Lincoln from Mandan, North Dakota, because they had football practice Monday morning, first thing with Lincoln East. And so they made it to football practice Monday morning.
Yeah.
And I believe they left yesterday to head out to Shelby, North Carolina, where the American Legion World Series will take place beginning tomorrow. So Carpetland is among the 8, and they're going to be in the Stripes division in the World Series. So with them in that division will be White House Post, New Jersey, Tupelo, Mississippi, and Fairfield, California. The other division will be the Stars division with Bedford, New Hampshire, Jacksonville, Florida, Midland, Michigan, and Portland, Oregon. So Carpetland will be the second game of the day tomorrow at 12 o'clock Lincoln time.
Okay.
And they'll take on Fairfield, California. Then they'll play Saturday against Tupelo, Mississippi at 2 p.m., and they'll play Sunday at 12 p.m. against White House Post, New Jersey. And then they'll pare it down to the semifinals where you got the Stripes winner versus the Stars runner-up, Stars winner versus the Stripes runner-up. And then Tuesday afternoon at 5 Lincoln time will be the national championship game of American Legion Baseball.
So it's essentially pool play here to start.
It is pool play to start out.
You just described every select baseball weekend.
Basically,
Pool play
fundamentally.
bracket. Go to work.
So that's what Carpetland will do. And again, their quest to seek their first ever national championship. And I believe the first in Nebraska in more than 70 years, 80 years almost, 80 years, more than 80 years. So we'll see. I mean, Carpetland's a good ball club. I mean, they've been.
You got a chip in a chair out in Shelby. You never know what happens.
Yeah. So, that's what's going on. ESPN3, I think, is going to stream the games.
Oh, really? Okay.
So,
ESPN, I think it's ESPN Plus now.
or ESPN Plus. You know what I mean?
And then the championship game Tuesday night, should they make it there?
Yeah.
Nationally televised, ESPNU.
Yeah. So,
Whoa.
And they were on TV a couple of years ago. Remember, they runner up to, what was it, League City, Texas, and they lost 1-0?
1-0. It was a tightly contested game.
Highly contested. So, anyway, so that's what's going on for Carpetland. So we'll follow them all the way through, and I think Elijah will have some updates in sports next couple of, well, he'll have a preview tomorrow morning in sports and have the results on Friday morning. I'll be off the next couple of days as a result. So that's why we're doing this segment today. Yep. By the way, we will have more football previews posted. We got about 4 up right now. We're still working on getting more before the season kicks off. The official start to the season for a lot of schools will be the weekend of the 27th, 28th. But it will be Northwest and Standing Bear that get things going here in Lincoln on August 21st, which is a week from this Friday night. And that'll be over at Seacrest Field. We won't have that game because we got the Salt Dogs on the air. Mm-hmm. But our first game again will be on August 27th with Lincoln East and Lincoln Northeast at Seacrest. And that'll be here on KFOR. And it's all brought to you by the KFOR Sportscasters Club.
Motzi, before we get you out of here, taking a couple days off, that's rare for you. What you got in store this week?
Well, there's some stuff we got to do around the house and, just try to relax a little bit. I did not get a chance to take a full week off this summer. And so I think, and I'm going to give you a fair warning, that there might be some dates here as we get in toward the fall where I may take a day or two along the way. So, your people will talk to my people. How about that, Elijah?
I think that's just you and me.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've seen this. Yeah. You guys talk to each other.
Yeah. So, we'll get that figured out. But, just to kind of unwind a little bit because, next week you got kind of the lead into some stuff that'll be happening. And then the following week, it's going to get really busy. And then the week after that, it's going to get busy because of Nebraska opening up their season on September 5th against Ohio. So we're in the thick of things now, fellas, where
that's when it's the return of the Real Red Reaction Show.
Yeah. And it's going to be sponsored by Slim Chickens again. Thank you very much.
That place?
3 locations.
Soon to be 3.
Soon.
16th and Pine Lake Road, 85th and Old Cheney, and coming soon to 84th and Adams.
Oh, look at that, man.
Do you need a commercial guy?
You should record that.
Do you need a commercial guy?
Can we just take that out and just
I'll do a jingle. I'll make a jingle for
yeah, can we just take that out and just put it there? That was perfect. They don't need me talking anymore, that's for sure.
Well, you doing all your spots?
I don't. I do a few of them sometimes.
I've heard you do one before.
Sometimes I do some of them.
Just let me cook up a little jingle for you in here.
Do that? Cook up a little jingle.
Ha ha.
So we got that. We got Carpland coming up. They're going to play. You got football coming. There's a lot of previews you're putting out on KFRNow.com on the local sports tab out there. They're still coming in.
Yeah, they're still coming in, and not all of them are in.
I've seen a few. You got Waverly's up, Lincoln Northeast up, North Star is up,
and Lincoln East is up. We're going to get Southeast and Southwest posted. We did get a schedule change in terms of kickoff time on the 11th of September. They're going to be playing a doubleheader out at Seacrest, so it'll be a 4:30 and 8. You'll have Lincoln High North Star at 4:30, and then we're going to do the Southeast Southwest game that night at 8. So that's the plan. And by the way, that's all contingent on how the Salt Dogs do the rest of the season, because they could be playoff bound if they win a few more games. We'll see, but we'll play things by ear.
Motzi, thank you. Enjoy your time off.
Thank you, fellas. Have a good sports weekend.
And we won't bother you. Tomorrow, Husker Fall Camp Talk. We'll jump in some NFL, FedEx Golf. The race to 50 starts tomorrow. That and a whole lot more. You guys have a great hump day. Catch you on a Thursday.